This video is not for people waiting for a fancy edition, but it's for those searching for real value to become rich and understand the psychology of money under every rock. In today's episode of the Money Talk Slowly podcast, we're going to talk about the truth behind passive income. It's not as easy as it seems, and if you're looking for shortcuts or quick fixes, this might not be for you. But if you're ready to explore the realities and face the hard truths about building wealth, then stick around. Let's dive in. We've all heard the buzzwords: work smarter, not harder, passive income, make money while you sleep. Sounds perfect, right? Who wouldn't want to earn without lifting a finger? But here's the thing: passive income isn't as easy as it seems. In fact, it can be downright exhausting. Today, we're going to break down the truth about passive income, the side effects no one talks about, and why it's not the stress-free dream it's made out to be. Trust me, you'll want to hear this before you jump headfirst into your next passive income project. Introduction to passive income. So, what exactly is passive income? The simple definition is that it's money earned with little to no effort once the initial setup is done. You might think of things like rental income, dividends from stocks, or even royalties from a book you wrote years ago. It sounds like the ultimate dream, earning money without constantly trading your time for it. But here's the catch. While it might start out as passive, the truth is there's always some level of active effort, especially in the beginning. Most people sell you on the idea of a hands-off, stress-free lifestyle. But what they don't tell you is how much work goes into making that income stream actually work. It's not about pressing a button and sitting back. It's about setting things up, maintaining, adjusting, and adapting as things change. And that's where things can get tricky. So let's dig deeper into the real side of passive income: emotional burnout from passive income projects. Now let's talk about something that isn't often mentioned: emotional burnout. You know, the thing that creeps up on you when you're juggling multiple passive income streams, thinking it's going to be smooth sailing, but instead you end up feeling like you're drowning. You might assume that once you set up a passive income system, it's all easy street. But here's the reality check. Those hands-off streams often need more attention than you expect. Whether it's constantly checking performance, tweaking strategies, or dealing with setbacks, the emotional toll can be heavy. And no one talks about the stress of always needing to generate more income to stay ahead. Even though your money is technically passive, the pressure to keep things running and growing can be exhausting. Balancing all this while keeping your mental health intact? That's the real challenge. People are often so focused on the financial side, they forget about the emotional cost. So the next time someone tells you passive income is the key to stress-free living, just remember, it's not always as simple as it seems. The unseen active effort in passive income streams. Here's a little secret that no one tells you. Even the most passive income streams require consistent, active effort behind the scenes. I'm talking about the kind of work that's invisible to most people, yet is essential for success. Take affiliate marketing, for example. Sure, you set up your blog, post your content, and then you're supposed to sit back and let the money roll in, right? Well, not exactly. Behind the curtain, you'll be updating your blog, creating fresh content, and constantly tweaking your strategies to stay relevant. Or let's talk about digital products, selling an ebook, an online course, or a membership. Those things don't just sell themselves. They require constant promotion, engagement with your audience, and updates to keep them fresh. The passive part is nice, but if you want to see real results, you'll have to put in regular active work. This is where the passive income myth gets busted. It's not enough to set it and forget it. Even if you have an automated system, it still needs maintenance, attention, and constant nurturing. And if you're not ready to put in that unseen effort, well, you might find your passive income dreams slipping away. The risk of over-leveraging in passive income ventures. Here's something that often gets glossed over in the world of passive income: the risk of over-leveraging. It sounds simple, right? You borrow money to invest in something that promises to generate passive income, like real estate or stocks. But here's the catch: the more you borrow, the more you're at risk if things don't go as planned. When you take out loans or use borrowed money to fuel your passive income ventures, you're gambling. Sure, if things go well, you could scale your income faster. But if the market shifts or an unexpected expense hits, you're left holding the bag. And that bag could be full of debt. Take real estate, for example. If you leverage borrowed money to buy rental properties and the market crashes or your tenants stop paying, you're not just losing rental income. You're dealing with mortgage payments and interest on borrowed money. The same goes for stocks or even some online businesses where heavy investment is required. The pressure to make sure your investment pays off can make what was supposed to be a passive stream of income feel more like a financial time bomb waiting to go off. The big issue here is that people often underestimate how easily things can go wrong. They don't factor in the risks, and when setbacks happen, it's not just the income stream that's at risk. It's their entire financial situation. Over-leveraging in passive income ventures can turn your dream of financial freedom into a nightmare of debt and anxiety. The delayed gratification trap. Let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to passive income: delayed gratification. It sounds great in theory, right? Set something up once, wait a while, and let the money roll in. But the reality? It can take years before you see substantial returns. Take building an online course or a YouTube channel, for example. You spend months, sometimes even years, creating content, optimizing, and promoting. During that time, you might not see much of anything in return. In fact, you may feel like you're pouring all your time and effort into a black hole. That's when frustration kicks in. You might question if it's even worth it, especially when you see others seemingly reaping the rewards much faster. But here's the truth no one tells you. Passive income is rarely instant. It's a slow build, a test of patience, and often a battle against burnout. What people often leave out is how challenging this wait can be. It's not just about putting in the work and hoping for the best. It's about staying consistent when the results aren't coming, when you're doing everything right, and the payoff is nowhere to be found. The delayed gratification trap can make you feel like you're working harder for less, and sometimes that feeling can kill your motivation before you even reach your goal. It's tough, but the key to making it through? Patience. But let's be honest. How many of us are really good at waiting for something we want now? The illusion of easy passive income. Now let's get into one of the biggest myths floating around the world of passive income: the idea that it's easy. It's marketed everywhere as the shortcut to wealth. Just set it up once, and the money will keep coming in with little effort. Sounds dreamy, right? But here's the catch: passive income is anything but easy. The truth? Building a successful passive income stream is often a massive grind in the beginning. Whether it's creating a SaaS product, writing a book, or designing an online course, the initial effort is anything but hands-off. In fact, you'll need to wear many hats: content creator, marketer, strategist, and problem solver, all while learning new skills and pushing through plenty of failures. What they don't tell you is that you're likely to spend much more time working than you'd expect before you see any returns. And even when the income does start rolling in, it's not a set it and forget it situation. If you're truly aiming for sustainability, you'll have to continuously put in effort to maintain and optimize it. So, when you hear about people getting rich off passive income, don't forget to ask, how long did it take? And how much effort did they put in before it started paying off? It's easy to get sold on the dream, but behind every easy passive income stream, there's a story of hard work, setbacks, and a lot of patience. The reality is, the effort curve is steep at the beginning, and it's a lot harder than anyone is willing to admit. So don't be fooled by the illusion. It's not about ease. It's about smart, hard work that pays off, eventually. The potential for oversaturation. Here's something that most people won't tell you about passive income. It gets crowded really fast. As more and more people discover the magic of making money on the side without a traditional 9-to-5 job, the market becomes increasingly saturated. Think about it: online courses, affiliate marketing, YouTube channels, blogs, ebooks, the list goes on and on. It seems like everyone and their dog is trying to create the next big passive income stream. What does that mean for you? Well, it means that standing out in a sea of content, creators, influencers, and entrepreneurs becomes harder and harder. Sure, there was a time when launching a blog or creating an online course was a surefire way to make passive income. But now, you're up against hundreds, if not thousands, of others doing the exact same thing. The market is no longer a wide open field. It's more like a jam-packed stadium, and getting noticed is a real challenge. What people don't mention is that the flood of competition can slow down your growth significantly. What worked a year ago might not work today. And no matter how good your product is, if you're in a market that's too crowded, it may take you longer and require more effort than you ever imagined to make any real headway. The myth is that passive income means an easy path to wealth. But as markets get more competitive, the effort and strategy required to stand out only increases. The hidden costs of outsourcing passive income. Now, here's something you might not hear too often when people talk about passive income. Outsourcing can come with some serious hidden costs. Sure, when your income stream grows, it feels like the right move to delegate tasks, whether it's hiring someone to handle your marketing or content creation. The goal is to free up your time, right? But the reality is, outsourcing doesn't always work as seamlessly as you might hope. First off, let's talk about the financial cost. Hiring freelancers or even full-time employees can quickly eat into your profits, especially if you're relying on others who aren't invested in your project the way you are. And it's not just about the money. It's about finding the right people who understand your vision, your voice, and your audience. That can take a lot of time and effort. Plus, if you're managing multiple outsourced tasks across different areas, there's a risk of quality slipping or miscommunication. But beyond the financial costs, there's an emotional toll, too. If you're relying on others to run the show, you might feel a sense of disconnection or even frustration when things don't go as planned. You're still ultimately responsible for the results, but without the control or oversight you once had. So while outsourcing might seem like the magic fix to making your passive income truly hands-off, it often comes with a price, both in dollars and in mental bandwidth. The trap of scaling too quickly. Scaling your passive income stream sounds like the dream, right? You hit a stride with a project and suddenly you're thinking, let's blow this thing up. More followers, more sales, more money. But here's where things get tricky. Scaling too quickly can be a huge mistake. Sure, growth is exciting, but if you don't have the right systems, processes, or support in place, you're setting yourself up for chaos. Imagine you've got a blog that's doing well, so you hire a team, pump out more content, and go full speed ahead. What happens? Well, first, the quality can slip. Your team might struggle to keep up with the pace, and suddenly, you're churning out content that doesn't resonate as much with your audience. On top of that, you can easily lose track of customer satisfaction. Scaling means more customer interactions, more issues to handle, and the pressure to keep it all running smoothly. If you haven't built a solid foundation, this can lead to mistakes, negative reviews, or even the collapse of your income stream. The bottom line, scaling isn't just about pushing for bigger numbers. It's about making sure you can maintain quality and keep everything running like a well-oiled machine. Without the proper groundwork, rapid growth can go from exciting to overwhelming, fast. The false sense of security with passive income. Here's the kicker. Passive income might feel like a safety net, but it's not as rock solid as it seems. People love the idea of earning money while they sleep, whether it's from dividends, real estate, or even a popular YouTube channel. But the reality is, passive income streams are highly susceptible to external factors. Market crashes, economic downturns, interest rate hikes. These can all hit your income hard, leaving you scrambling to adjust. For example, let's say you're making decent money from a rental property. But what happens when the market shifts or a tenant stops paying rent? Suddenly, that passive income stream isn't so passive anymore. Or think about stock dividends. If the stock market takes a nosedive, your income from those investments could evaporate just like that. People don't often talk about how vulnerable passive income can be to forces outside your control. So while it may seem like a secure, hands-off way to make money, it's important to recognize the risks and the volatility that come with it. Don't let the illusion of security lull you into a false sense of calm. Things can change fast, and your so-called easy money might not be so easy after all. Passive income can definitely offer freedom, but it's not the hands-off, easy money dream many make it out to be. The truth is, it requires ongoing effort, attention, and sometimes a lot of patience. Whether it's battling emotional burnout, managing risks, or dealing with market shifts, the reality behind passive income is far from passive. So if you're thinking of diving into passive income streams, do your research, be prepared for the effort and risks involved, and plan accordingly. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term game. Final thought. Passive income is possible, but it requires just as much work, patience, and risk management as any active income stream. Proceed with caution. And if you're really serious about managing your money and making it work for you, check out this video. You're saving every penny. So why doesn't it feel good? It'll give you some fresh insights into how to handle your finances. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.